Welcome to the threshold of the unexplained, the dwelling of shadows, and the sanctuary of the stories untold. This is Haven of the Unknown. Within these pages lies the gateway to tales of horror that whisper in the dark, secrets that slumber in the abyss, and legends that lurk in the corners of your fears. Dare to step inside and let your mind wander the corridors of the macabre and the supernatural. From the depths of the unknown to the fringes of reality, each story beckons you closer to the edge of terror. But be warned, for not all who wander are lost, and not all tales have an end. Here, in the haven of the unknown, the journey is yours to begin, but never yours to predict. Subscribe and join us at the brink of the abyss. Unveil the mysteries, embrace the chill of the night, and become a keeper of the tales that sleep within the haven of the unknown. Tonight, under the cloak of darkness and within the embrace of the unknown, we unveil a tale that has slumbered in silence, waiting for the brave to awaken its voice. Gather closer, for this is not just a story but a journey into the heart of fear itself. In the dead of night, when the world lies in slumber, the veil between the known and the unknown grows thin. In these quiet moments, our story unfolds on a lonely stretch of road, far from the warmth of day. Tonight, we delve into the tale of the silent hitchhiker, a journey that begins with a simple act of kindness and descends into a chilling ordeal that blurs the lines of reality. A late-night encounter that reveals the eerie presence lurking just beyond the edge of our understanding. What compels a solitary traveler to pick up a stranger in the dead of night? Is it compassion, curiosity, or an unspoken challenge to fate? As our driver will soon discover, some journeys take us further than we ever intended, to places hidden deep within the folds of the night and our fears. Buckle up, dear listener, as we embark on a ride that will take us into the heart of the supernatural. The Silent Hitchhiker is not just a story. It's a testament to the mysteries beyond the corner of our eye, waiting for the moment to cross into our world. Prepare for a tale of the unexpected, where silence speaks volumes, and the journey is as mysterious as the destination. This is The Silent Hitchhiker, a chilling reminder of the thin line between our reality and the unknown that lies in wait. It was supposed to be a routine drive back home, a path I had navigated countless times before. The night was pitch black, the kind of darkness where the line between the road and the abyss seemed to blur. My headlights cut through the night, a solitary beacon on this deserted stretch of highway. The clock on the dash read just past midnight, and a sense of unease began to settle over me, a feeling I couldn't quite shake. I've always enjoyed driving at night, the solitude, the way the world seems to quiet down. But tonight felt different. There was an electricity in the air, a palpable sense of something lurking just out of sight. I turned up the radio, trying to drown out the unnerving silence that enveloped my car. That's when I first saw it, a figure standing by the roadside, barely visible in the dim light. I slowed down, squinting through the darkness. It was a woman, her clothes tattered, her face obscured by the shadows. Every instinct told me to keep driving, but something about her made me stop. Maybe it was the way she seemed to appear out of nowhere, or how she stood so still. But I felt compelled to help. I rolled down the window, the cold night air immediately seeping into the car. "Do you need help?" I asked, my voice betraying a hint of nervousness. She didn't respond, just stood there, silent and unmoving. It was unsettling, the way she just stared, her gaze fixed on me. After a moment of hesitation, I unlocked the passenger door and offered offer of assistance. She slid into the car, the door shutting with a thud that seemed to echo into the night. I tried to make conversation, but she remained silent, her presence filling the car with a heavy, oppressive silence. As I drove, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. I glanced at her occasionally, trying to discern any details about her, but she remained a silhouette, a shadow. The air grew colder, and a dense fog began to roll in, enveloping the car. The road ahead became harder to see, each turn and bend a leap of faith. The silence was suffocating, and I finally mustered the courage to speak again. "Where can I take you?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Still, she said nothing. The tension in the car grew, a tangible thing. I focused on the road, my hands gripping the steering wheel tighter with each passing mile. That's when the car began to act up, the engine sputtering, the lights flickering. Panic set in as the car came to a halt, the darkness enveloping us. I tried to start the engine, but it was useless. We were stranded, miles from anywhere, in the dead of night. I turned to her, looking for any sign of what to do next, but she was gone. The passenger seat was empty, the door closed. Confusion and fear washed over me. Had she left? But how and why, without making a sound? I got out of the car, my flashlight barely piercing the thick fog. "Hello?" I called out, my voice swallowed by the night. There was no response, only the sound of my heart pounding in my chest. The realization dawned on me then. I was truly alone, the woman a figment of my imagination or something else entirely. I decided to walk, hoping to find help, or at least get a signal on my phone. The fog seemed to thicken with each step, the darkness a living, breathing entity. I felt watched, followed, but every time I looked back, there was nothing but the empty road. After what felt like hours, I saw lights in the distance, a beacon of hope. I quickened my pace, relief flooding through me. But as I got closer, my heart sank. It was my car, somehow ahead of me on the road. Impossible. I hadn't turned around, hadn't looped back. Yet there it was, lights on, engine running. Approaching cautiously, I peered inside. The woman was there, sitting in the driver's seat, her eyes finely visible, glowing an unnatural shade of red. She smiled at me, a smile that was anything but comforting. It was then I realized she wasn't human, not anymore. The car, the woman, the night, it was all a trap, a hunting ground for something sinister. I backed away, terror taking hold as she stepped out of the car. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice a chilling caress. "You freed me." Before I could respond, she vanished into the night, leaving me with a chilling sense of dread. I jumped into the car, driving away as fast as I could, not stopping until I reached the safety of my home. But the feeling of being watched never left me. The experience changed me. I avoid driving at night now, afraid of what lurks in the darkness, waiting for someone to offer help. They say the road is full of ghosts, of souls trapped between worlds. I believe that now. I encountered one, a haven for something dark, and I was lucky to escape. But sometimes, when the night is darkest, I wonder what would have happened if I hadn't stopped. Would she still be out there, waiting for the next unsuspecting driver? Or was I the key to her release, a pawn in a game I didn't understand? The answers elude me, lost in the shadows of that night. But one thing is certain, I'll never forget the terror, the feeling of being ensnared in a web I couldn't see. And I'll always question what truly hides in the haven of the night, just beyond the reach of the headlights. Our journey through the night does not end at the roadside where we left the silent wanderer of the unknown. The road stretches onward, winding into the shadows, where tales of the unexplained await the daring. Imagine, if you will, a road seldom traveled, where the boundary between the seen and the unseen is as thin as the veil of night itself. It is here, on this desolate path, that our next tale unfolds. In the dead of night, when all sensible souls seek the comfort of their beds, there are places that awaken, hungry for the presence of the living. Tonight, we pull into a forgotten relic of the past, a service station that offers more than fuel for the weary traveler. What secrets do the shadows of this forsaken place hide? What lurks in the darkness, watching, waiting for an unwary soul to stumble into its domain? Join us as we delve into the heart of fear, where the only escape is through the terror that awaits. This is the service station of shadows. Tread carefully, for every step may lead deeper into the nightmare that lies within. The road unfurled before me like a dark ribbon, its edges blurred by the night. I've always found a strange comfort in driving late at night. The way the world seems to pause, suspended in time. But tonight, the comfort was replaced by a creeping unease. The moon was a thin sliver, barely shedding any light on the winding road ahead. It felt like I was driving into the mouth of oblivion, each mile further enveloping me in an inky darkness. My destination was still hours away, a fact that weighed heavily on me as I noticed the fuel gauge dipping worryingly close to empty. Great, I muttered to myself, the realization setting in that I might not make it to the next gas station. That's when I saw it, a small faded sign for a service station, an unexpected haven in the middle of nowhere. Relief washed over me as I turned off the main road, following the arrow pointing down an even darker, narrower path. The service station was an old, run-down building, bathed in the harsh glow of flickering fluorescent lights. It looked abandoned, but the sign had promised refuge. I pulled up to the pump, the silence of the night engulfing me as I stepped out of the car. The air was cold, biting at my skin, carrying a faint, unidentifiable odor that made me uneasy. I waited for an attendant, but none came. The place seemed deserted, a ghost station forgotten by time. I decided to serve myself, but when I tried the pump, it was lifeless, the digital display blank. A sense of dread began to build within me, a voice in the back of my mind urging me to leave. But desperation to get back on the road, led by the fear of being stranded, pushed me toward the service station's dimly lit interior in search of help. The door creaked ominously as I entered. The inside was as neglected as the outside, dust covering every surface, the air stale and musty. "Hello?" I called out, my voice sounding alien in the silence. No response. I ventured further inside, my footsteps echoing in the empty space. That's when I heard it. A soft whisper, so faint I thought I'd imagined it. I froze, listening intently. It came again, a hushed, sibilant sound, like someone calling out from far away. Drawn by a mix of fear and curiosity, I followed the sound to the back of the station. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, guiding me to a door half hidden in the shadows. I hesitated, every instinct screaming at me to run, but something compelled me to open the door. Beyond it lay darkness, thick and absolute. The whispers stopped abruptly, replaced by a deafening silence. I fumbled for a light switch, my heart pounding in my chest. When the light flickered on, I wished it hadn't. The room was a grotesque tableau of horror, walls adorned with what appeared to be trophies from countless unsuspecting travelers. The realization hit me like a physical blow. I had stumbled into a hunter's den, and I was the prey. Panic surged through me as I turned to flee, but the door slammed shut, plunging me back into darkness. I heard movement, the soft sound of footsteps circling me. "You shouldn't have come here," a voice hissed, so close it felt like breath on my neck. I lashed out blindly, my survival instincts taking over, and by some miracle, I found the door, throwing it open and bolting into the night. I didn't look back, not even as I heard the door burst open behind me, the sound of pursuit filling the air. I drove away with a speed I didn't know I was capable of, the service station disappearing into the night behind me. I didn't stop until I reached the safety of a well-lit town, the events at the station replaying in my mind like a nightmare. The experience left me with an indelible mark, a reminder of the darkness that lies just off the beaten path. I no longer find solace in night drives. Instead, I see them as a voyage through uncharted territories, where havens can become traps, and the road less traveled is less traveled for a reason. I never reported what happened, my story too fantastical to be believed. But I avoid that stretch of road now, taking a longer, safer route. Yet sometimes, when the night is darkest and the wind whispers just right, I hear it calling me back, a siren song of unresolved terror. But I know better than to answer. The road might offer freedom, but it also harbors secrets, some of which are best left undiscovered. Our journey through the shadows continues, from the hidden dangers lurking in the world's forgotten corners, to the ethereal mysteries that dance just beyond the veil of reality. As we leave the echoes of survival behind, we find ourselves wandering, drawn by the melody of the unknown. Imagine, if you will, a road less traveled, where the boundary between the living and the lost is as thin as a whisper. It is here, on this forgotten path, that our next tale unfolds. A story not of fleeing, but of finding. Not of horror, but of haunting beauty. Tonight we follow the footsteps of a lost traveler, whose journey takes an unexpected turn into a realm untouched by time. A place where the night air is filled with the sound of a ghostly waltz, inviting those who dare to step into its embrace. Welcome to the Dance of the Forgotten, a tale of longing and liberation, where the veil between worlds grows thin, and the forgotten are given one night to remember. But be warned, for this dance is more than it seems, and to join it is to step into a story that dances on the edge of dream and dread. So, let the moon guide your steps, and may your heart be brave enough to join the dance. For in this tale, we discover that some spirits are not trapped by the shadows, but are simply waiting for their moment to shine once more. Driving at night always seemed to wrap me in a cocoon of introspection, the world outside my car a blur of shadows and fleeting lights. This night was no different, or so I thought, as I embarked on the long drive back home after a late shift. The roads were unusually empty, even for this hour, amplifying the sense of isolation that night driving often brings. The monotony of the road was suddenly broken by a dense fog that seemed to appear out of nowhere, swallowing the weak beams of my headlights. I slowed down, the visibility dropping to near zero. It felt as though I had driven into a cloud, the outside world erased by the thick mist. An uneasy feeling crept over me, a primal warning that something was amiss. As I navigated through the fog, an outline emerged on the roadside. A figure standing still, its features obscured. Instinct told me to keep driving, but a sense of moral obligation nudged me to stop. What if someone was in trouble? I couldn't just leave them there. Pulling over, I rolled down the window, the chill of the night air biting my skin. "Do you need help?" I called out, but the figure remained silent, motionless. Something about the situation felt deeply wrong, but I couldn't pinpoint what it was. Against my better judgment, I opened the car door and stepped out into the fog. As I approached, the figure slowly became clearer. A woman, dressed in an old-fashioned gown, her face pale and her eyes dark hollows in the fog. She didn't speak, only pointed further down the road with a trembling hand. There was a plea in her eyes, silent but urgent. Compelled by a mixture of concern and curiosity, I followed her gesture, walking into the fog, each step taking me further away from the safety of my car. The fog seemed to thicken with every footfall, the silence around me oppressive. I called out, asking where we were going, but she remained silent, leading me deeper into the mist. Suddenly she stopped and pointed again, this time towards a barely visible path that veered off the road. It was a path I'd never noticed before, hidden by the fog and shadows. She vanished as if swallowed by the mist, leaving me alone on the unfamiliar path. A sense of dread washed over me, the realization that I had ventured too far from my car, from any semblance of safety. I turned to go back, but the path behind me was gone, the fog disorienting my sense of direction. I was lost, the silence so heavy it felt like a physical weight on my chest. I had no choice but to continue forward, each step an act of faith in the unknown. The path twisted and turned, leading me deeper into a darkness that seemed alive, breathing. And then I saw it. A house, its architecture ancient, sitting alone in a clearing. Light flickered from within, windows glowing like eyes in the night. Drawn to the light in a world of darkness, I approached the house, my heart pounding in my chest. The door was ajar, inviting yet foreboding. I pushed it open, the hinges creaking loudly in the silence. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of decay, the furnishings covered in dust and cobwebs. "Hello?" I called out, my voice echoing through the empty halls. No answer came, only the sound of my own footsteps as I ventured further inside. I entered a room that seemed to serve as a parlor, the remains of what might have been a grand space, now nothing but a mausoleum of memories. That's when I heard it, the faint sound of music, a haunting melody that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere. I followed the sound, drawn to it as if in a trance, until I reached a room at the end of a long hallway. The door creaked open to reveal a scene that would haunt me forever. A group of figures danced in the room, their movements slow and deliberate, as if part of a ritual long forgotten. They paid me no mind, lost in their eternal waltz. At the center of the room stood the woman from the road, her eyes meeting mine with a sadness that pierced my soul. I understood then that I had stumbled upon a haven for lost spirits, trapped in a moment of time, forever repeating the last vestiges of their existence. The realization chilled me to the bone, a fear unlike any I had ever known. I fled, running from the house, from the ghosts of the past. The fog seemed to part for me, guiding me back to the road, to my car. I drove away without looking back, the house and its occupants disappearing into the night as if they had never been. The experience left me with a profound sense of unease, a reminder of the thin veil that separates the living from the dead. I never drove that road at night again, avoiding the path that led to the ghostly haven I had unwittingly discovered. But sometimes, in the dead of night, I hear the faint sound of music, a haunting melody that reminds me of what lies just beyond the reach of the living. As the final whispers of our tales fade into the shadows, we close the pages of the unknown, for now. But remember, the realm of shadows is ever expanding, filled with endless stories, waiting to be unearthed and shared in the glow of the moonlight. Thank you for joining us at the Haven of the Unknown, where the line between the seen and the unseen, the told and the untold, blurs into the darkness of the night. If our tales have stirred the shadows within, we invite you to like, share, and subscribe. Delve deeper into the darkness by following us on our journey through the unknown, and let us know in the comments which mysteries you dare to explore next. Until the moon rises once more, and the unseen calls your name again, keep the candle burning and the curiosity alive. For in the haven of the unknown, the end is only the beginning of another tale waiting in the silence.